Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss Gender Sensitization Unit 4 Issues of Violence and Rebuilding Lives. Under that, we are also going to discuss the new forums for justice. And in this unit, we are going to cover sexual harassment and the difference between sexual harassment and eve teasing and coping with everyday harassment. Domestic violence, speaking out, is home a safe place? Then rebuilding lives, additional reading, new forums for justice, and thinking about sexual violence, blaming the victim, I fought for my life, and then the cast face of violence. So the comprehension questions based upon these topics we are going to discuss now. Okay, so the first question, define eve teasing. Eve teasing is merely light-hearted fun resorted to by boys towards girls. It could be usual joking and bantering between groups of young men and women in colleges. It further includes friendly comments, warnings, or declarations of interest in one another. There is no pain and humiliation in eve teasing. So that is eve teasing. And now differentiate between sexual harassment and eve teasing. Sexual harassment includes a range of actions from verbal transgressions to sexual abuse or assault. Harassment can occur in many different social settings, such as the workplace, the home, school, or religious institutions. Harassers or victims may be of any sex or gender, whereas eve teasing is the term commonly used to imply that it is merely light-hearted fun resorted to by boys and it refers to the usual joking. So the examples of eve teasing are whistling, catcalling, staring, pursuing on social media, gawking, etc. Gawking means staring with a negative intention or a sexual intention. That is gawking. Let us watch a simple video clipping of gawking, which is highlighted in the movies very much.
నీ కళని పట్టుకువదలనని చూడే నా కళ్ళు ఆ చూపుదన.
Just because a popular actor is performing these kind of actions, it is not to be encourage students. Because the celebrity is doing, usually we glorify it and we get fascinated with it. So we should really protest these kind of misconceptions and false images which are shown on the screen. Next question. The Indian film industry seems to be perpetuating an environment for sexual violence and harassment. Elaborate with examples. In many Telugu and Hindi movies, women are depicted as sex objects. They occupy traditionally domestic roles and are depicted in positions that are subordinate to men. They are often victims of sexual harassment and sexual violence. Many Telugu and Hindi movies perpetuate this myth about patriarchal society, societal behaviors, gender roles, etc. Films like Dahej, Gaur, Devi, Bivi Hoto Aisi, Pati Parameshwar depict women as passive, submissive wives and perfect martyrs for their families. In these films, practices of patriarchy are implicitly patronized in the sense that the victim wife refuses to leave her husband's house despite severe physical and emotional violence. The idea is further reinforced by perpetuating Indian traditions and symbols like entering the husband's house at the time of marriage in a dolly and leaving only at the time of death in a title movie Aarti. In the Telugu movie Missamma, which was released in 1950s, it was said when women say no, they mean yes. ఆడవారి మాటలకు అర్థాలే వేరులే. That was the dialogue, student. The hero keeps chasing and stalking the woman, harassing her in the name of love, although the woman does not like it. Another Telugu movie, Laukyam, states every girl is waiting to fall in love. They are just waiting for the right man, as if they have no other work and they are desperate to find only men. And in Gabbar Singh, the hero, your famous, very popular celebrity, declares, listen, man, one girl might fall for you in a week's time, another might take a month, and some girls might even need a year. But the fact is, finally, every girl will fall in love, as if they have no other work. That's natural law. Such dialogues in movies reveal that the hero treats a woman as a mere object devoid of feelings. The hero does not want the woman's love as much as he wants to control and possess her. Woman's desires and consent are of no importance to the hero. It is these kind of films that accentuate sexual assaults and acid attacks on women in real life. Sexually colored comments on women. In another decent Telugu movie, Seethamma Vakitlo Sirmalla Chetu. This was a very popular movie. One of the male leads says to a young woman, "Just think, when you turn 60 and look back on your life, don't you want some sweet memories of the comments made by fellows on the street?" So you should actually encourage men who pass comments about your appearance. This is so ridiculous. This dialogue equates the genuine appreciation that women may desire from people whom they like with those of unwanted and obscene heckling and obscene remarks that women are subjected to on the streets. And surprisingly, it also assumes that women enjoy such comments. This is sheer harassment and one needs to call it by its name. So these are all the typologies or the wrong misconceptions, students, all of you remember, which are glorified and which are appreciated very much on the screen. So as learned persons and educated persons, we have to condemn such kind of images, the wrong images which are attributed to women or sometimes men also. Even men also are imprisoned in gender roles, students. They have to be like macho men with muscular body and beating 10 or more than 10 thugs and crushing them onto the ground. All those things, they are all meaningless. So we have to condemn and we have to protest such images which are shown on the screen. Next question. How are the women projected in most Indian films? Women are portrayed as pretty dolls with no character, no intelligence, or individuality. They appear as if they have no other goals or aim in life but to win the attention of the hero. Most films don't seem to think that women do have individual goals and desires and that they are real persons with different tastes and aptitudes. Next question. What are Nari Adalats? These are the forums for justice, students. Nari Adalats are the forums for justice established by the women's collectives of Gujarat state. Remember, Adalats are from Gujarat state. This initiative came up under the Mahila Samakya program supported by the government. They deal with the issues related to domestic violence. Nari Adalat came into existence to counter traditional setups such as community panchayats where women have meager presence and voice. Counter means to protest or there the unexpected happens there. Though there are community panchayats, but the patriarchy is there, male domination is there, and no justice is given to the women. So to counter such traditional setup, Nari Adalat came into existence. The Adalat sits on a particular day near the district collector's office and listens to the complaints made by women. The outcome depends on the negotiability and willingness of the concerned parties to change. Next question. What is meant by women's Jamaat? This is again another kind of organization. The traditional institute that settles disputes among Muslims is known as Jamaat. Like any other traditional community panchayat, Jamaats do not have women members. In Pudukkottai district of Tamil Nadu state, a group of women led by Sharifa Khanum decided to form collectives of poor rural Muslim women into women's Jamaat. So this is from Tamil Nadu students. Nari Adalat from Gujarat and women's Jamaat is from Tamil Nadu. So she is Sharifa Khanum. Dissatisfied with the way community Jamaats were dealing with women's issues, they decided to step in. Over time, male community leaders have changed their viewpoint about the collective and have begun to accept the verdicts and resolutions offered by the women's Jamaat. These Jamaats deal with the concerns of women's education, dowry, and domestic violence. Next question. Explain the typology of romance. Typology means errors of romance, the hero and the heroine as they are presented in movies. So typology of romance as they are presented in movies are, the first one is one-sided romance. The hero follows the heroine, teases and harasses her and does not give up till she says yes. You remember the entire movie he will be after the heroine and he will not leave her till she says yes. The blackmail romance is there. The actor threatens, the male actor threatens to commit suicide if the person he or she likes does not return his or her love. So this is what he climbs up the tallest tower and He threatens there from there until the girl says yes, he will not leave. He will commit suicide. So this is called blackmail romance. And the third one is gratitude romance. The heroine is rescued by the macho hero from the harassers and rapists. So she is so grateful to him, she falls in love immediately. So whoever comes and rescues the girl has to fall for the hero. That is the misconception or the typologies shown on the movies. And in almost every movie, women are shown as just pretty dolls with no character, intelligence, or individuality. Heroines are presented as glamorous dolls with no aim in life, but only to win the attention of the hero. Films do not seem to present women that have individual goals and desires, that they are real persons with different tastes and attitudes. The hero is presented as aggressive, demanding, and keeps chasing and stalking the woman, harassing her in the name of love, although the woman does not like it. In most of the Telugu movies, Raviteja does all these things, students, as far as my knowledge goes on. Okay. Next question. What do you mean by domestic violence? Domestic violence is the violence committed by someone in the victim's domestic circle. That means in the house. This includes partners and ex-partners, immediate family members, other relatives, and family friends. The term domestic violence is used when there is a close relationship between the offender and the victim. Offender is the person who resorts to violence, and the victim is the person who faces violence, both mental and physical violence, students. Next question. Critically evaluate the reasons for the enactment of Vishaka guidelines which laid the foundation for the sexual harassment of women at workplace. So this is Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. So Bhavari Devi, a woman from the Kumhar caste from the village of Rajasthan, had tried to stop the child marriage of a 9-month-old girl of the upper caste Gurjar family in 1992. The Gurjar community felt very insulted and bore a grudge against the lower caste woman. To take revenge, they boycotted Bhavari and her family socially and economically and gang raped her while she was working with her husband in their field. The court and the government failed to provide justice, and she was the one who was blamed. So she is Bhavari Devi, students. The trial was held in the district court in the midst of all these threats. In November 1995, the district sessions judge pronounced the verdict. Look at this very unreasonable judgment, students. The verdict sounds so meaningless. The judgment was a major blow to Bhavari Devi. The judge disbelieved her story and called her a liar. In his judgment, he wrote that upper caste men could not have raped a Dalit woman. Look at that unreasonable judgment. The educated person gives the verdict in this way, student. And then an uncle cannot possibly rape in the presence of his nephew. So among those four or five culprits, two are related, one uncle and nephew. So he says that in the presence of his nephew, an uncle will not rape. Then the third one is the most horrendous. Her husband could not be passively watching while his wife was being raped, meaningless. So this judge, the so-called educated judge, is also under the influence of the movies or the stereotypes which are shown on the movies that every husband should fight like a hero. He should bash and he should thrash the culprits. That is the intention, that is the impression he has, and he questions the husband. On these grounds, the district judge acquitted. Acquitted means released all the five Gurjar men of the charges of rape, and they roam freely in the village. It led to a nationwide protest, and Vishaka, a network of women's organizations in Rajasthan and Delhi, supported her and filed a case in the Supreme Court. As a result, the court put together a set of guidelines to be followed by every employer with respect to its women employees. Personally, she did not receive any justice, students, but on generally they gave some guidelines to be followed in the at the workplace. This is how the Vishaka guidelines were enacted, and that rape incident had led to India's sexual harassment law. So law was implemented, but personally she did not receive any kind of justice. Next case. In the case of rape, a woman is asked why she did not resist and why she let them do it. Isn't it time to stop mystifying rape? Narrate the story of Sohaila Abdulali. I fought for my life and won. She is Sohaila Abdulali. So Sohaila Abdulali's story is an account of a woman who survived rape, a gang rape, and fought back for a life of dignity in order to try to understand her struggle. At the age of 17, when she had gone for a walk with her friend on a mountainside, she was attacked by four men and was gang raped, keeping her friend hostage. Both of them did everything to escape and stay alive. At that time, her goal was to live, be alive, that's all. And that was more important than anything else to her. After what seemed like years of torture, they were led to with a final long lecture on what an immoral war she was, to be alone with a boy. So that was her crime. Going alone with a boy was a crime, and they wanted to teach her a lesson. When she lodged a complaint in the police station, she found to her utter surprise that police were insensitive, contemptuous, and managed to make her the guilty party. So they questioned her only. Soon she realized that justice for women simply does not exist in the legal system. There also patriarchal attitude only was there. Yet in many ways she feels that she is a stronger person now as she publishes her story with her real name, avoiding a fictitious name. No false name she has used the real name. That article is one contribution towards exploding the silence and the comfortable myths which the society builds up to convince ourselves. So that is the story of Sohaila. So that's all about the comprehension question, students. If you have any queries, do not hesitate to put them in the comment box. Thanks for watching, and if this tutorial had made sense, please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. That means a lot for me. Okay, bye bye for now, and let's meet up in the next video. Bye, take care.